How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk about stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. Just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. So today we're going to be talking about Ocugen, ticker symbol OCGN. And you know what? We actually have a lot that we're going to be talking about for today. I know you guys saw some serious moves in price action today. We actually ended up seeing that $12 range. We talked about how important it was and how much I wanted to see it. We ended up seeing it. I hope you guys were able to take some profits or actually protect your profits. So what we're going to be doing is the agenda. Of course, with all of my videos, there's timestamps down below, so it's making it easier for you to navigate when you watch my videos. So the first thing that we're going to be going over, three major updates for OCGN and covaxin, and I feel that we need to know this, especially if you're a shareholder or you're trading in this stock. After that, we're also going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. And then on top of that, and before that, sorry, I kind of mixed it up, we're going to be doing a technical analysis because we want to see, hey, what are some moves in price action we want to see for Friday and especially going into next week. And then after, when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts afterwards. So for the first update in regards to OCGN, so Ocugen files patent application titled Adeno-Associated Virus Vector Mediated Gene Therapy for Ophthalmologic Diseases. So knowing that they just put in an application for a recent patent, as we know, Ocugen focuses in the eye care space. This is something that is great for investors to know and they're aware of because it still shows that Ocugen still has focus on the eye care segment of their business. Now it's time for the second update in regards to covaxin. Bharat Biotech cuts covaxin price to $400 per dose for states. Earlier, the company had said covaxin would be available at $600 per dose to state governments and at $1,200 for private hospitals. Bharat Biotech on Thursday said it has cut the price of its COVID-19 vaccine covaxin to $400 per dose for state governments. Earlier, the company had said covaxin would be available at $600 per dose to state governments and $1,200 for private hospitals. And here's their response. Recognizing the enormous challenges to the public health care system, we have made covaxin available to state governments at a price of $400 a dose, Bharat Biotech said in a statement. You could also see the official post on their Twitter feed as well on your screen. I feel this announcement is great for India considering the recent struggles that they have with the pandemic. So let's go on to the third update. OCGN stock got a boost from a positive analyst report issued midweek. The analyst Zeg Bijala, who follows Ocugen for Roth Capital Analysts, reiterated his buy rating and a $10 price forecast for the company's stock after Bharat Biotech announced its clinical trial results. Early in the month, Bharat Biotech and Ocugen said they plan to seek an emergency use authorization for covaxin from the FDA by the end of April. We believe that covaxin can help change the course of this pandemic by preventing severe COVID-19 diseases, including hospitalizations, as well as significantly limit the spread of asymptomatic COVID-19 infections based on efficacy shown to date. So I highlighted the area here where it's looking for the end of April in regards to the EUA. The fact that the stock ran up right before, so the day before the 30th, is interesting to see, and I'm definitely looking forward to see how this actually turns out for tomorrow. So now let's get into the technical analysis and get into also the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest info, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Ocugen, ticker symbol OCGN. So I ended up having a strong day inside the market, closing at $11.96, being up 6.69% on the day. As far as the lows where it tested $10.40, and on the high testing $12.35. So one thing that we want to talk about right away, and we've been talking about this for quite some time on the channel, how key it was for OCGN to stay above this area in regards to $11. And it did exactly that today. Even when it did break, getting down to $10.40, it did a great job rebounding. And as you can see, definitely looking bullish, riding above that 21-day EMA. So one thing that I want you guys to take notice of is the fact that we were able to break that $12 level. I told you guys yesterday I wanted to see $12, and if we did see $12, we could see a bullish move to the upside. That's why it was no surprise at all to see that we were able to test into the 1230s. So if we had even more buying pressure and we actually had a better day inside the market, no doubt on my mind we could have seen even a bigger movement and even testing close to $13. But for the most part, I'm definitely happy from what I saw from OCGN today. So just being aware and taking into consideration of where we closed at $11.96, we already know $11 is holding up fairly well. So another area that I want to see hold up is actually right here around $11.50. So if we can maintain $11.50, especially going into tomorrow, then we're definitely going to get another retest into 12 and possibly challenge the $13 level. And if we don't get it tomorrow, we'll see it sometime next week. But again, this is barring on any bad news and so forth. But that's just what I'm seeing from a technical sense. It's continuing to look bullish, as you can see right here. And also just do keep in mind the rule still sticks. If it's above $11 or if it breaks and we have a quick rebound, things are continually looking good. This 1150 area, what we want to see is it actually holding up and maintaining some strong support. Holding up 1150, those support levels get better, we can see some more room to the upside. So we're now on fintel.io, and we're going to be taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for OCGN. So as we scroll down on the page, we already know green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So as we take a look on April the 29th, we have Patriot Investment Management that opens up a new position. And the fact that it's fairly significant, they purchased over 30,000 shares. Quite the position, I must say. And then we could see, I think we covered this yesterday on April the 28th in regards to Ironwood financials. So far what it's been looking like recently, especially if we go back to April the 23rd and going forward up until April the 29th, we only have one institution that closed their position. So overall, institutions are definitely seeing some bullish behavior out of OCGN. So let's take a look at the short interest. While viewing the short interest information, I must say there was a ton of short volume here, and we're taking into consideration this is of today. So on April the 29th, in regards to short volume, we had 48 million. I must say that is crazy. If we take a look at the short shares availability, it is around 250,000. And when we take a look at the short borrow free rate, it is now at 6.62%. So definitely a significant change there. But as we go on further, we want to take a look at the short volume ratio. And as we see it from April the 28th, remember we didn't get a chance to see it yesterday, it is at 33.95%. I'll repeat that again, 33.95%. This is part of the reasons why OCGN has a ton of short squeeze potential. We know if it's above 21% in regards to the short volume ratio, we could see some serious moves in price action, and that's part of the reasons why we ended up seeing what we saw today. So let's get into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, I'm definitely interested to see how tomorrow actually turns out. Like they said in that article update that we just covered, they're expecting to have the emergency use authorization come through near the end of the month, and the end of the month is actually tomorrow. And I definitely do believe that had an impact in regards to the rally that we saw in the stock, as well as shorts who are covering, and then additionally on top of that, Ocugen also filing their patent. So taking all of these into consideration, one thing I want you guys to always remember, and what we say on this channel, is to protect your profits. If you knew that you had the opportunity to get in at $10.40 or even at $11, where we know there's a strong support area, you had the chance to close out at $12, making a gain of at least $1 per share. So let's say if you bought 1,000 shares, you easily would have made $1,000. If you would have bought 500 shares, you'd have easily made $500. $400. So that's just kind of giving you an idea, and especially that's what a lot of traders and swing traders are actually doing, and that's part of the reasons why you've seen a ton of volume in this stock. Also take into consideration that recent institutional buy that was fairly heavy, over 30,000 shares, definitely had an impact as well on the buy side for OCGN. So as Friday comes in, we already know a lot of people like to close out their positions on Friday. I'm going to say this right now. If we get any news or any catalyst comes in regards to the FDA and covaxin, we know this thing is going to go to the moon. But also do remember that you are protecting your profits. Make sure that you have your limit sells in there. Please do not let greed or your emotions get in the way. Another thing to understand and something to take into consideration, analysts have said, hey, $10 is the price target. They did the direct offering at $10 as well. You know the whole thing. Buy the rumor, sell the news. This is part of the reasons why I want you guys to be very attentive and make sure that you're managing your risk, because the news could come out and we could have a reverse reaction. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I do see some moves to the upside. That's why I talk about it on this channel. But I want to make sure that you guys are fully aware of what's going on here. But for the most part, hey, we're going to have to wait and see. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we talking real soon. Peace.